Hi, Matt. Welcome. You're the founder of the Startup Club South Africa. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, thanks, Tina. Great to be here, and of course, grateful to be partnered with RMB in some of the work that we do. Like you mentioned, I'm really privileged to be the founder of Startup Club. We are now the largest tech startup and investor network in the country, and really, we've built this as a platform for access. We want great founders, great investors to be able to access resources, people, and key things that might propel their success. We are very active around the country on the events side of things. We run a series of flagship events around the country, the South African Startup Awards. We run the biggest pitch event series in the country at the moment, a number of other related events. There is a tech and platform side to our business, which is really all around creating this fluid and engaged ecosystem of stakeholders around SA, and very excited to be moving into the capital and investment side as well. So a few different levers, but really galvanized by the work that we do.
You speak about the lack of access and the lack of funding as a key challenge in this startup ecosystem. What is the role that corporates can play to address some of those challenges?
Yeah, it is a relevant point, especially at the early stage. Obviously, in the sector in which we operate, we talk about risk capital. This is capital that's coming in super early. It's backing the next big, bold idea. It does mean lots of upside, lots of return, but there is inherent risk there. Our country is typically lacking the structures, the legislation to make that flow of capital easy, both deploying it into ventures, but also creating liquidity and getting return on that capital as well. So it's something we're very actively working on. But where corporate helps is, corporates play material roles in this. One, they are sitting on capital, whether that's balance sheet or indirectly. So they are investing their own innovation, they're backing startups. Two, having an anchor enterprise or corporate client for a venture is a game changer. So there's a massive role to play there in working with startups themselves, be able to integrate some of these ventures into their supply chain early. And three, even in a partnership like ours with RMB, you're in this amazing position where you can leverage some of the brand equity, the credibility, have Big Brother backing your initiatives as well. So all round, it's a critical role, and without it, to be frank, the startup space can't flourish. So we're very grateful to be playing a bit of a conduit role ourselves in that as well.
And based on your insights within this community, within this ecosystem, where do you see capital flowing to? What industries, what sectors?
It's a great question. South Africa is not short of capital. It is short of the right mechanisms to deploy that in a risk appropriate way. So, that's one of the big things that we're working on quite avidly at the moment. With that said, the markets are tough. To be raising funding for an early stage business is always going to be tough, right? This is not a traditional bank loan. You typically need to go and pitch for venture capital or private equity. And unfortunately, the market right now is quite constrained. So investors themselves are not raising as much capital for funds to deploy, especially early. And so you typically only have capital coming in at a much later stage. That for us presents a unique opportunity rather than a challenge. It's a really interesting chance to start framing what capital looks like, deploying capital looks like early on. And that's across industries, right? The exciting and compelling nature of this space is that these are companies that are challenging the status quo. They are looking at building the next big thing. And I think that's really exciting because from a pure investment perspective, that's also where your multiples on returns come from. So for us, I'm not going to answer a specific sector necessarily, but the startup space remains the really exciting, outlandish generator of returns if we can figure out how to deploy cash in an effective way and obviously meet great founders. And that's really critical to the work that we're doing at the moment, trying to figure that out.
Awesome. And for the founder who's building the next best thing, or the corporate who's looking to invest in the next best thing, I mean, where can they find you and your community?
So I always encourage people, if they want to engage with the work that we're doing, or really just engage with the startup ecosystem, join us at one of our many events around the country. Different formats, very galvanizing environment. I guarantee you'll be energized by attending one of those and just meet the people involved. If you can't make it to one of those, engage us on our platforms. We're very active on social media. We're a professional network, so you can find us on LinkedIn. That's Startup Club ZA. If you want to learn more about our ecosystem specifically, startupclubza.com. And importantly, if you want to connect with me, you want to collaborate, you just want to understand more about the startup and innovation ecosystem in this country, I'm Mathew Marsden, and that'll be Mathew with 1T on LinkedIn. I really trust that we can start bringing far more coverage and emphasis on this really exciting space, the critical role that it has to play in entrepreneurship in this country as well. So yeah, look forward to hearing from people.